Kelsey.
Hey, I'm Shane McGowie.
And I'm David Keener.
And this is the Hourlings podcast project. And tonight, it's happy hour.
Indeed.
What are we drinking tonight? I'm actually about to crack open a Woodchuck hard cider.
Nice.
Semi-dry.
Nice.
This guy's 5.5% alcohol, and it's nice and cold. Can you see that? Can you see the sweat on that bottle?
Condensation.
Yeah, my favorite skeletal that I'm about to open this with.
I've got the Vienna Lager from Devil's Backbone Brewing Company.
I have a High Noon Spike Seltzer, which my sister recommended highly. So there we go.
It was actually a toss-up between this and I've got a Twisted Tea in the fridge that
I like those too.
I never had before. And this was in the fridge longer, so I figured I'd first in, first out.
FIFO. My IT background showing for you.
You know, I don't really like seltzer water. So it's ironic that I like these things that are spiked and have like a hint of flavor. They're like LaCroix, but for a happy time instead. So.
Well, this is dangerous because it tastes like apple cider.
I know, it just goes right down. You don't even notice it.
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
right.
You got a fussy kid at bedtime. Just saying.
Oh, man.
And the best part about this is this happy hour. Somebody's got to study for a test after this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I just said that.
It's not me.
And
it's not me.
You know what, Dave?
What?
That was below the belt. That was off the record, and you brought it on air.
I feel so ashamed
am I
of
gonna have
myself.
to edit this part out again? Oh, damn it!
Okay.
Well, I can't get hammered tonight, so I'm not drinking bourbon because I got to pack for camping.
Okay, see, I'm not the only one.
What's that?
I'm not the only one. Then you got to keep your head tonight.
That's right. So
we're just lightly drinking.
That's right.
Social drinking. So my book's on pre-sale. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, it's on
Definitely.
pre-sale.
Are you going to have anything besides the hardcover on pre-sale?
I think ebook. I don't know what their audiobook situation is yet.
Point of order here for the viewers of our podcast, all three of them, you have to tell them the name of your book.
Oh, thank you. It's Hockey's Hidden Gods, and it's available on Amazon or the publisher. It's going to be a hardcover book right now. I think they have an ebook will be uploaded pretty soon, and I'm hoping that an audiobook will follow. But for now, I'm excited about those two editions. And December 14th is when it goes when it actually releases. So just catch the holiday season and then go right on through, hockey season, winter sports, all that good stuff. So it's a good time for it.
So give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, yeah. So it's a nonfiction book about an American hockey team in 2002 that won the gold medal for the United States against all odds, against the reigning champion, against a history of just crushing, embarrassing defeat. And they rode in and went undefeated to gold. And the twist is that they all have a disability of some sort. So two of them were literally run over by a train. One was a Marine whose parachute didn't deploy. Other various accidents of all kinds, illnesses, etc. And all of them just chose to keep fighting and doing what they love, which is playing hockey, and they made it to the top. And so it's a great story, and I really enjoyed writing it in the sense that I got to interview some very interesting people. The profile chapters intersperse, or alternate, I should say, between the action game chapters. But the action game chapters were a blast to write as well. I mean, that was kind of like writing a battle scene every other chapter. It was very, very fun. So yeah, I'm super proud of it. Coming out in December. Go look it up. And yeah, I hope to do maybe even a in-person book signing or two. when
And it
comes
would
out.
look really good in somebody's stocking.
Yes,
Just
it
saying.
would. Yeah, and if they were naughty that year too, you could also put it in the stocking, twist up the stocking, and it makes a very good, kind of pummeling weapon as well. So
That's good
either
to know.
way.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure that all parties are sold to, the naughty and the nice. So, anyway, that's my big news.
And for the record, she didn't pay me for this.
Yeah, we help each other out, right, guys?
Yeah,
We're good at that.
I think it's good. It's a good nonfiction story coming from a traditional publisher.
Yep, absolutely.
So how do you like the difference between writing nonfiction and fiction?
I prefer fiction. In fact, when this book comes out, it'll be my second consecutive publication that's nonfiction, and I don't really like that. So I wrote my agent. I said I'm very excited for this book to come out, but just so you know, so you're prepared, my next publication has got to be a fiction novel, because I don't want to head in that direction where I'm known or I have more titles to my name. Nonfiction, it's just not, it's enjoyable, and I think if it's a meaningful topic, that's great. And both of my nonfictions have been, but at my heart, I'm a fiction writer and a storyteller, and that's what I want to be known as. So that's where I'm pivoting.
Well, since you brought it up, what's your other nonfiction book?
American Boy, the book about my brother and his opioid addiction, and how we lost him, and how we hope to prevent that from happening for other people. And that's been a great success, honestly. It's been a great way to raise awareness and raise money, and all the proceeds from that book go to putting people in rehab, and we're really proud of that. So like I said, as far as nonfiction goes, I think I pick pretty good topics, pretty meaningful projects, but I just have to shelve any other nonfiction ideas I have for now and say, no, I'm ready to put in some work and some time into going back to fiction.
You ever considered, David, writing anything nonfiction?
Me? I kind of like the idea of writing some world building nonfiction, something like that. In fact, on my blog, I do like special projects to get some of the world building, I don't know, itch to basically alleviate some of the world building itches that I get. I did one, the world building for a very large, slower than light interstellar ship, like a colony transport, with huge
So you're
habitat.
talking about writing a guide to tell authors how to do world building, or
Yes.
it's a book of worlds pre-built that people could use?
I haven't decided. Again, on my blog, I do these world building projects where I say, let's design an interstellar colony transport that's slower than light with large rotating habitats, and what would it look like? And what would it look like if the ship was damaged in flight? I've got another one in progress where I'm like, what if there was a flat world? Not the flat Earth nonsense that we hear about, but what if there was a flat world? What would it take to create it? What kind of technology would you need? How would it work? How would gravity work? So I do stuff like that all the time. And I feel like a collection of those might make an interesting book, from a how-to or an example perspective. I don't know.
You ever see the movie Dark City?
I have not. It's actually one of the ones that everybody keeps telling me I need to see, and I haven't
You
done
need
it.
to see it because it's a flat world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but you got to see it. Great movie. It's in my top 10 movies.
When was it produced? Or
Oh, when did it come out? Oh, a long time ago. Hang on a second. We have the technology.
We have the internet.
yes.
Yes, I have bookmarks.
Yes, I've always enjoyed the world building, and again, I don't know how many people would buy a book like that about a whole bunch of different world building subjects, but if I saw one, I would buy it.
Yeah, I think that the nonfiction book I have in me, you know all the indie publishing checklists that I have. You've seen those checklists.
Yep.
I've started putting those together all in one document, and as I help authors, publish their first book, I've been sending it to them, improving it every time I send it out to somebody, and it's like 100 pages already. And eventually, I could see myself taking that and actually smoothing off all the rough corners of it and publishing that, because that would be a useful thing for new authors.
You do realize I've seen a lot of how-to books that aren't that long.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've actually read a lot of how-to books to try to learn what the hell I'm doing, and I don't steal all of their concepts. There's a lot of things that you just simply have to do, and wherever you learn that from, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you find out is when you're an indie writer, you are running a business, and you get to handle the book production, you get to handle the marketing.
Yeah, people don't realize any of that going in, how much work you have to do that doesn't have anything to do with writing.
And then try to toss an anthology production business on top of that. I'm in the process of producing my second and third anthologies right now.
Dave, are you also like me freaking out that the year is half over? I mean, all those goals we set 6 months ago, like the year's almost more than half over now.
I'm behind. I'm definitely behind, but
yeah, I'm behind too. I fully admit I am behind.
But no matter what happens, I think this year is actually going to be my most productive year in terms of content published. So it's going to be a good year. It may not be as good as I had hoped from my very, very ambitious schedule.
Right.
We'll know a lot more in September, October. I have one anthology coming out in September and the other in October.
Great. That's great.
Those are, for people who are curious, Fantastic Detectives. This is a sequel to our 2017 anthology, Fantastic Defenders. Both of them are co-edited by myself and Donna Royston. And the last one is The Forever Inn, about a magical tavern that appears in different places throughout the multiverse and the people that frequent the tavern. That's coming out in October this year.
Sweet.
So you guys.
And even Marty has a story in it.
You guys, I learned how to knit recently. I had I went to the library and there were all these old women who came with all their yarn and just gossiped for like an hour and a half, doing their little needles. And I just meandered in and was like, hey, I don't know how to knit. How do you do this? Tell me. And they hooked me up with some needles and had me doing knitting. So I'm very proud of this. I'm making this, whatever it is.
Scarf?
So yeah, they told me that everyone starts with a scarf. Just the easiest thing to do.
My mom used to do that. So.
It is really complicated. Like it's a steep learning curve. It took me a good 20 minutes to learn to do like one stitch. And then I got better at it.
It's interesting. My mom I used to do that and needlepoint and stuff. And when she was ailing, I actually had a chance to talk to one of her friends who was a much younger, 30-something. And she was like, I'd never really known my mother. I mean, I always knew she knitted and stuff, but I never realized how like super professional she was. Like she was like the gem of the local like knitting / needlepoint group, the one that was teaching all the other folks and stuff. And I had no idea.
That's great.
But she would have been one of those old ladies at one of those groups like
totally,
that.
Yeah. There was a woman like that would have been like your mother, who went around solving everyone's problem. Like they all came and they're like, I don't know why this looks this way, or I must have done something wrong with this knot or something. Yeah. She came over and just like undid it and solved
She died in 2017, but I still have like Afghans and doilies and all kinds of stuff that she created.
It's so sweet. Yeah. I don't know that it's gonna stick. I mean, I just, it was kind of like a random moment, but you know, I can see it being a very therapeutic thing to do.
Yeah, my mom used to knit. She always thought it was very meditative.
I mean, just having your hands be busy, I think is very helpful. I mean, that's
Well,
one of the reasons why I'm addicted to my phone, is just because I'm used to like, oh, my hand wants to do this.
well,
My hand wants to check this.
I remember seeing her watching television and knitting. Yeah, if she was good enough that you know,
Yeah.
she'd pay attention to the TV and just knit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just do the thing by muscle memory.
Yeah, watch those needles
Exactly.
just move.
Yeah.
I could see that happening to me eventually. I mean, it doesn't. I think what made it difficult for me is like the logic never clicked with me. Like I never knew why what I was doing with my hands made what was happening. Like it was just like they're like, okay, so you go in, over, around, and off. I'm like, okay, so I just did what they did, and somehow it started creating these beautiful knots. But in my mind, I couldn't see like how was it happening that when I was doing this thing? How was it? Yeah, so that's a mystery.
Are you gonna keep up with it?
Maybe, yeah. I'm gonna see if I, you know, if I get anywhere with it. I got to get my own needles. They let me borrow needles, so I have this thing that I started, but I don't have any needles right now. They told me that some people like can knit with their fingers, like and maybe that's how they used to do it like a long time ago.
I doubt it. I don't think I could knit with these fingers.
Well, because you can have very widely spaced, thick yarn. Like it doesn't need to be very tight. It can be very loose. So your fingers actually could be loose enough to do it. But I don't know. Anyway, random topic for you. So thank you to Arlene and Judy and Peggy, the old woman who taught me.
Well, I think whether you
Would they appreciate being called old women?
Okay, the silver
The lovely
foxes.
ladies that helped
Silver
you.
foxes.
Yes. I also think that regardless of whether you keep up with it or not, I think it's always kind of cool to try out new things.
Totally, yeah. I was like, hey, I'm knitting. Look at that. You know, it was great. Learn a new skill every day.
I saw last week. Was the last week you were out playing poker somewhere?
Yeah, there was a casino night at the winery. So I got my Hawaiian shirt with roulettes and poker chips on it. And I got my green accounting visor.
I think we need to see pictures.
No, I did see a picture. It is all true.
You have my permission to upload that in this episode if you want. Yeah, it was great. And by the end of the night, I was up. I was up a good. Well, it was all, you know, it was all play money because it's not legal in Virginia. So it was all, you know, you had to buy
chips, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was up by like 2,000 chips by the end of the night, which was awesome. And didn't win anything because you turn them in for a raffle, and then the raffle, you know, low odds of getting called. But I love casino games. Do you guys enjoy casinos or casino games?
I personally am not much of a gambler. I've been to Vegas many times at conferences and stuff. And I just don't enjoy it that much.
Okay.
You know, I like playing poker because, you know, I like giving money to my friends.
Well, I also understand math, so I'm not big on casino games.
Yeah.
My friends and I used to go to Atlantic City to ogle the women and lose some money slowly, and then we'd go on our way.
Well, the highest statistic game is Blackjack. So I played
closest. It's 49.51.
I played a good amount of that. And then I played craps for the first time, which that also has math on your side. You know, the odds of rolling a 6 are pretty high, rolling an 8 are pretty high. And so, you know, I didn't make a lot of money off that game, but it's a good game because everyone's on the same team. You know, everyone wins when you roll the right number. So.
Or everyone loses.
Yeah, but then you lose together. It's camaraderie, you know.
So they love you or hate you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indeed.
I remember going to Vegas for my 21st birthday and had a ball, got really drunk, mixed a lot of drinks like an amateur. And I think I might have broken a pot or something and was asked to leave one of the hotels. It was a good night. But I did not gamble well when I was drinking. So that's not
And
a good
that is
idea.
why they serve alcohol at casinos.
Exactly.
That right there is their edge that takes them even further on and to the having the odds on their favor.
That's right. So I didn't drink during at the winery, even though it was at the winery. I didn't drink during play because I knew I'd play worse. But a memory that I cherish with my brother, because my brother, he had a difficult life and he didn't have enough wins in his life, in my opinion. So I cherish this memory of watching him play blackjack at my party, my 21st birthday, and he bet $100 on one bet, one hand. And I remember him walking away from the table because he was just so nervous about what would happen. And sure enough, he got dealt like a 20 or something, and they were busted. So he won the bet and doubled his money. And I love that because I love how happy he was, and it was great to see him get a win.
Yeah, I went to a conference one time, and they had a casino night as one of the entertainments during the evening. And when you walked in, they gave you a $500 chip, and you could buy raffle tickets at the end of the night, and they gave away big screen TVs and all kinds of stuff. But I walked in with $500 and I didn't care. So I, saddled up, got a beer, saddled up to a blackjack table, and I'll be damned, not caring is an important part of the formula, because I walked away with over $15,000 that night. Of course, I didn't win anything. I bought all the raffle tickets I could. Still didn't get anything.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I, played blackjack for 4 hours. And
Yeah. I mean, because like you said, when you don't care, you bet high. And when you bet high and you went out big.
yeah, you're willing to risk more if you don't care.
Right. Exactly. So
I would care if I was betting the rent money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
I should tell you about my grandfather. During the Depression, my grandfather did high stakes bowling, Candlepin Bowling up in New Hampshire. The way it worked was you played 100 games, and the highest total score at the end of 100 games won the other guy's paycheck. During the Depression, it was like 8 hours of bowling with people betting on it and stuff for paychecks. And that's how he supported himself. That was how he got the extra money to feed his family during the Depression. High stakes candlepin bowling.
Yeah, that's frightening to me.
Apparently, he never lost when it was down. When he was down,
I can bowl. I enjoy bowling. They give me like this ramp thing.
This is candlepin bowling. The balls are smaller and the pins are very kind of straight and narrow. You bowl, it's not the size of a softball. You roll it and they don't remove the deadwood from the lane. So if the pins fall and they stay on the lane, then you have to play the deadwood in order to get pins that might be behind it. It's much harder than regular bowling.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd never bet in bowling.
Yeah, I played my grandfather when he was, I think he was like 78 at the time. Kicked my ass.
I bet you cherish that memory.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, he was in the bowling league until he was in his 80s.
Wow. Guess that's one way to stay young. Yeah, I'm visiting my great aunt right now in New York, which is why my background looks a little different. And she's 92 and she has like more of a social life than all three of us put together. Like her schedule is so busy. She's going to happy hour. She's going out to lunch.
Hey, we're at happy hour.
Well, that's true. You're right. We're on happy hour right now. It counts. It counts. But are we doing happy hour every night? No, we're not. And she most certainly is. So she's living her best life, man.
As should we all.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Well, Marty's about to go camping for 2 weeks, so
That's right. I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome.
I opened my beer with my favorite pocket knife. It's called a Skeletool by Leatherman. And
Nice.
it's got a nice beer opener here. That's also like a carabiner, so you can hook it on your belt loop if you want. It's got all the screwdrivers and tweezers and all that stuff that your standard Swiss Army knife has got, both common and Phillips screwdrivers. It's, you know, got really good blades on it and stuff. But the cool part is it's got a really useful pair of pliers and wire cutters on it. And did I just beep?
No, that was me.
So I really like it as a camping tool, even though I am going medieval camping. It's this camp out called Pensick that everybody dresses in period costumes and has period encampments. So it looks like, you know, right out of Game of Thrones. It's a lot of fun.
On my bucket list for sure. Sounds like a blast.
I would do that. I think it's harder to talk my wife into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Burning Man. Everybody keeps saying it's the East Coast Burning Man. I want to do Burning Man some year too.
I do too, but that's a definitely, I've looked into that. It's like a definitely a different kind of,
Yeah, bigger production.
yeah.
Well, also I hear Burning Man has changed over time, so it's maybe a little bit more corporate and less cool than it used to be.
Yeah. Less bohemian.
Less bohemian. Less free.
Well, I just want you to know, I feel like I got a fresh dose of testosterone with you showing that multi-tool of yours.
Yeah. Hey, it's damn cool. And they come in all kinds of sizes too. You know, this is the full size one. They have like smaller ones that you can, you know, pocket carry a lot easier than this huge heavy thing.
Yeah. Guys love tools.
Yeah, and I have a lot of knives.
Oh,
Yeah.
my parents used to give me periodically as presents. They would give me these weird tools that I have in my toolbox. Oh, this one is a hammer and a pair of pliers and a vise, you know, stuff like that. Not quite as practical as what you were just showing us.
Yeah, I have one of those tools. It's like it's a hammer and a claw hammer, but the handle's got all these things that flip out like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I'm amazed every time I find a use for one of those tools. It's like, I'm actually using this for the first time in 20 years. Cool.
I have a toolbox too. Big fan of it. Been collecting, you know, different tools from. Every time I go to a garage sale and there's like tools like for $1 in a bin, I say to the guy, "Hey, pick me out, you know, the most useful one you think is in here," and they'll do that. And so I have a whole bunch of tools, and I really like to woodwork. I just got my first power tool as a birthday gift this year, and
what was it?
What'd you get?
A staple gun, but an electric one. So it's super fun.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say fun. Fun shouldn't be the adjective.
First thing I did when I got mine was I took it to the deck, I put it up, and I fired at the woods to see how far the staple would go. And it went over my pool and over my fence, and I'm like, okay. Because I don't know if you remember one of the Lethal Weapon movies way back when with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And Danny Glover. A couple guys come in to kill Danny Glover, the black policeman, and into his house. And he's like, there's construction going on upstairs, and there's plastic hanging, and he ends up fighting with a staple gun.
A nail gun.
A nail. You're right. A nail. You're right. His was a nail gun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this will do the job.
Well, honestly, I've got a pneumatic nail gun that can shoot 3-inch nails, and that'll kill you. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love my DeWalt power tools. I wish we could get DeWalt as a sponsor.
Maybe if we keep mentioning DeWalt.
That's right. I just got a DeWalt 20-volt oscillating saw. Very cool.
Yeah, I would like to improve my tool collection in that regard. I'm a little leery of some of those big power saws. It's like,
Well, I love the DeWalt cordless tools. I have got like 20 different ones in my tool chest now, and I love those things. They all use the same battery so that you can always have a charged battery handy.
oh, cordless then?
Yeah. I even have a 20-volt chainsaw that's awesome for, a half-ass homeowner like me. But I'm taking that camping.
Nice.
It's not as loud as a regular chainsaw. So, in places where you shouldn't be using a chainsaw, you can get away with it, I think.
So what you're saying is it's a stealth chainsaw.
Yeah, pretty much. It's totally quiet except for the business that the saw does. Even my wife likes it.
Oh my, we have ranged far afield from writing.
That's right.
Cool.
It could be the alcohol, folks.
Happy hours are never predictable.
It's a
I'm
graph.
looking forward to this camp out, spending 2 weeks in a hammock, reading books and outlining my next one. Very excited about that. I'd show you the 3 major books that I plan on reading on this vacation, except they're packed already.
You have to insert them into the video. This won't be published until well after you get back.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We were thinking, okay, how many weeks out will this one be published? Oh, my camp out's going to be over. 6 weeks from now, Dave could have his next book out already. I don't think my next book's going to be published in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think we're about 6 or 8 episodes ahead.
Yeah, we try to be.
Which is a far cry from the 20 that we used to have.
Yeah, I know. It's
We really,
you guys won't miss a weekly release, but by weird circumstances, we've missed the last three recordings in a row just because of weird crap happening, or people just clean ass forgetting.
Oh wait,
Dave.
Just throw me under the bus.
It's a good bus to get thrown over because it's nice and comfy. But yeah, it's always good to have a buffer, and the buffer's all for you, our audience, both of you.
Actually, I think we have more audience than that. So I know I'm getting some traction when I post these on Facebook. We are getting some views.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We're not ready to monetize it yet on YouTube, but
No,
you know,
not close. That's
but
weird. Did I mention?
You can help, dear viewer.
Yeah, I know. The weird thing, here's a weird one. I also have a personal YouTube channel that I usually put videos up that I want to, share with my friends or family. I don't expect anybody else in the universe ever to see them. Well, I had posted this video that was a capture on one of my outside surveillance cameras in my backyard. And it was a bunch of deer walking into my garden, like a whole herd of deer. It's like 8 deer walking into my garden. And suddenly my motion sensor sprinkler goes off and scares the bejesus out of them. And it's hilarious how they all freak out and run all directions in circles and stuff and run out of the frame. And somehow, I don't know why, it must have gotten linked somewhere or something, because suddenly it's got like 27,000 views. Weird. weird stuff.
So clearly, you need to add a link to that from that video to this
But I
podcast.
said,
I think you've missed an opportunity. Get
Be
on
like-
it right now.
Yeah, I wonder if that can happen. It's really funny. I had a video of one of my stupid robots, screaming "Danger, Will Robinson." That stupid little video got 1,800 views. It's like, who are these people, and why are they looking at my my robot?
I think author Hugh Howey, the guy who wrote Wool in the Sand, he would promise his readers that, hey, if this book hits something on some level on the Amazon sales or something like that, I'll do disco dancing online, a video. And he did. I have to say, I don't swing that way, but he looks a lot better doing disco dancing than I would.
Nah, nobody wants to see me do that.
I pay big money to see both of you do that. Come on now.
How much?
I'll have to work on my moon.
Hey,
moon
look at that.
I'm not cheap, but I can be bought.
Everyone has a price.
Yes, everyone does. And mine's lower than you think.
I believe you.
That's great.
It's a tough crowd.
Well, my beverage is gone.
Well, clearly you need
mine's
another
about-
Good.
beverage.
I liked it. I'll buy this again. It was very refreshing. This would be a great one for a really super hot day.
Still working on my beer.
Cool.
In fact, I think the podcast is about the only time I actually have been drinking in like since before the pandemic.
Well, I can't say that's true for me.
Me either.
Yeah. I have.
Well, I think I was quarantined a little bit tighter than you folks.
Yeah, I like bourbon every now and then. Usually with cigar.
Amen, brother. Well,
Sounds like we're about done.
Yeah, I was just trying to. What else do we want to talk about?
Yeah, my beverage is empty and it's late. It's interesting. We record these late in the evening. It's currently after 11 p.m. And
And
That's the
Marty
best
turns
time.
into a pumpkin, so we have to be careful.
yeah, you definitely have to be careful tonight because tomorrow I got to get up early to pack my stuff to go camping.
good reason. So, listeners and viewers, drink responsibly and write daily.
Thank you for playing. We'll see you next week.
All right, see ya, everybody.